Today, we will be talking about the process in which humans and plants use to provide themselves with power. This process is known as cellular respiration, or the way we derive energy from the food we eat, specifically from glucose, which is a simple sugar and component of many carbohydrates. Many people have misconceptions about respiration. When referring to the process, they think of how animals and plants get oxygen into the body, rather than about aerobic metabolism, which requires oxygen to release energy in stored food. This is the chemical formula for glucose. To turn this into energy, we will need oxygen. Through the wonderful process of cellular respiration, 6 molecules of CO2, 6 molecules of water, and lots of energy will be produced. There's much more to it than just energy. Our bodies need a certain stored energy called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. It is referred to as the currency of biological energy. Think of it as an American dollar. You need it for business purposes. One can't simply walk into a PetSmart with pesos and expect to buy a dog, even though pesos are technically a form of money. The same goes with energy. In order to use it, our cells need energy to be transferred into ATP to do daily functions such as grow and move. But before we see how ATP is put together, let's take a look at how cells cash in on the energy that is stashed in there. ATP is made of adenine, a sugar called ribose, and 3 phosphate groups attached to it. However, the phosphate groups are very uncomfortable with each other. It's like you sitting with your best friend and the pretty girl that you both like. So after a while, the girl has to pick between you or your best friend. Let's just say she picked you. We are now left with 2 phosphate groups, thus creating ADP, adenosine diphosphate, as well as released energy from the best friend leaving. And because there are a bunch of water molecules floating around, a hydroxide comes over and fills the spot of the best friend. This is now your new wingman, and everyone is much happier. This process of using water to break down a compound is called hydrolysis. Now that we know how ATP is spent, let's take a look at how it is used for cellular respiration. It all starts with oxygen and glucose. Glucose is transformed into ATP over 3 different stages: glycolysis, the Krebs cycle, and the electron transport chain. We begin with glycolysis, or breaking down of the sugar. Because this stage doesn't need oxygen to make ATP, which makes this an anaerobic process. Now, glycolysis is just the breaking up of glucose's 6-carbon ring into 2 3-carbon molecules called pyruvic acids. A simple way of explaining this process is like this: if you want to make some money, then you gotta spend some money. Glycolysis needs the investment of 2 ATPs in order to work. And in the end, it generates 4 ATPs. In addition to that, glycolysis results in 2 pyruvates and NADH, which is also used to create more ATP. The next 2 stages, Krebs cycle and the electron transport chain, on the other hand, are a part of the aerobic process, meaning oxygen is required. The Krebs cycle occurs inside the inner membrane of the mitochondria, or the power centers of the cell. This cycle takes the products of glycolysis, those carbon-rich pyruvates, and works them to create 2 ATPs per glucose molecule, plus, of course, some energy. Again, our 2 pyruvates produce 2 molecules of NADH to be used later. Enzymes are very essential. They are the proteins that bring together the stuff that needs to react with each other. These enzymes bring together a phosphate with ADP to create another ATP molecule. The main purpose of the Krebs cycle is to make these powerhouses for the next and final step, the electron transport chain. When it comes to ATPs, the electron transport chain is the real moneymaker. In a very efficient cell, it can net a stunning 34 ATPs, but who's counting anyway? The electrons from the NADs and the FADH2s will provide the energy that will work as a pump along a chain of channel proteins across the inner membrane of the mitochondria. These electrons have now created many ATPs. And there you have it. That is how animal cells make ATP through the process of cellular respiration. I would like to thank Mrs. Stevens for teaching my group all we need to know about cellular respiration.